Spike broadcast. See amazing exclusive pictures on Instagram at Bellator MMA. Follow us on Snapchat at Bellator Nation for exclusive behind-the-scenes photos, video, and fighter takeovers. Join Bellator Nation today.
Tonight, it's an explosive night of fights live and free on Spike.
Beautiful shots.
Featuring lightweight legend Benson Henderson. Battling Brazilian knockout artist Patricky Pitbull.
Unbelievable.
I'm gonna beat up Pitbull and make a statement.
Bang!
Plus feared strikers Paul Daly and Lorenz Larkin go to war.
It's over!
And the Bellator debut of Big Country Roy Nelson.
I'm here to knock people out.
Bellator MMA presented by Miller Lite. Live tonight at 9 on Spike.
To Bellator 183, we are back in one of our favorite cities, San Jose, California, and the SAP Center. You know, it's filling up fast. Its fans are gearing up for what promises to be an epic night of Bellator action. Now tonight, our headliner features a lightweight showdown between smooth Benson Henderson and Brazilian knockout artist Patricky Pitbull, two fighters looking for a decisive win to move them up in the ranks of a stacked lightweight division and into title contention. Hello everyone, Jen Brown here. I want to extend a big welcome to all of our fight fans that are watching us from all over the world on Bellator.com. And tonight, for the first time ever, we are streaming our undercards live on Twitter. That's right, we love hearing from you guys. Make sure you use hashtag Bellator183. Tell us what you think, and boy, are you in for a treat tonight. What a stacked card it is. Now, besides the Henderson Pitbull main event, the rest of our TV lineup will not disappoint. Take a look here. The co-main event. These two guys genuinely do not like each other. They almost got into it yesterday at the weigh-ins. Paul Daly and Lorenz Larkin will now let their fists do the talking when they step inside the Bellator cage. Plus, we've got the Bellator debut of Roy Big Country Nelson taking on Javi Ayala, who comes in tonight off a 16-second knockout of Sergey Karatanov. And highly touted Aaron Pico returns to Bellator, looking to bounce back after a stunning loss in his pro debut, but with a new fight camp and moving down to his natural weight at 145, he will meet Justin Lin, where all eyes will be on him. But first, Adam Piccolotti looks to stay unbeaten when he takes on submission specialist Goichi Yamauchi. That's all coming your way live and free on Spike at 9 p.m. Eastern. Now let's get to some fight action and head down to Mauro Ranallo and Jimmy Smith. Hey, guys.
Hey, Jen. Hey, Jimmy, we actually look pretty good on Twitter here, buddy. Wow. We welcome everyone who has taken a break from Snapchat and Instagram stories, because we've got some great stories coming your way here on the Bellator MMA prelims, Jimmy.
That's right, we do. I think the biggest story coming into tonight, we talk about our main card, is the young guns and experienced talent. That's the divide. The undercard lets our young talent shine. Everybody can see where they get from the undercard to the main card with great performances here.
All right, it's time to get to the action. The tail of the tape is brought to you by Dave and Buster's, the only place to eat, drink, play, and watch sports.
And look at this 3-inch reach advantage for Alex Lopez. Let's see if it's a factor.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the SAP Center as Bellator MMA. Tonight presented by Miller Lite. Now kicks off the action with 3 5-minute rounds in the welterweight division. Introducing the blue corner first. At 6 foot, weighing in 171 pounds even. His professional record undefeated at 3-0. He fights out of Salinas, California, presenting Alex Lopez. And across the cage, his adversary, fighting out of the red corner at 5'11", weighing in 171 pounds. His professional record stands at 1-0 by way of Mexico. He fights out of San Jose, California, Fernando Gonzalez Trevino. In charge of the action, your referee, Josh Rosenthal.
Great to see Josh Rosenthal back as a referee in mixed martial arts, and a couple of Golden State Gladiators ready to get our coverage started here at the Bellator MMA prelims.
Gentlemen, you ready? You ready? Let's fight.
3 5-minute rounds in the Bellator welterweight division. In the blue gloves, Alex Lopez. He has the reach advantage over Fernando Gonzalez, sporting the red gloves.
There you see guys earlier in their career, 1-0, 3-0. It's how do you manage the nerves early on in the fight? Who spends too much energy? Those guys look calm.
Especially on this platform. Again, we welcome everyone watching us on Twitter as technology continues to give us various ways to spread the message of combat sports, Jimmy. Oh, nice axe kick attempt by the blue-gloved Lopez.
So far using that lead foot a lot. You said the axe kick, also leg kicks. He's throwing it out a lot.
And all 3 of Lopez's wins have come inside the distance, including 2 via form of knockout, but now against the fence, baiting the southpaw Gonzalez in. Of course, it's a battle of the lead foot, Jimmy, when you have an orthodox versus southpaw fighter.
Always want to keep that lead foot on the outside of your opponent's foot. The jab with the hand is hard to use, but a lot of times the jab with the foot, that lead kick is easier to use. That leg, very, very close.
Inside a low kick by Lopez.
Now Gonzalez can't let those opportunities go. When he has a big kick and it misses, that's when to charge and throw some punches. He keeps letting Lopez off the hook.
But he nailed him there with 2 straight lefts down the pipe as the southpaw sniper catches Lopez.
Problem is he let Lopez off the fence after that shot. You see he lands the big left, then lets him back into the center where he's had success. Keep him against the fence once you get him there. That would be my advice for Gonzalez.
2 minutes have elapsed in this welterweight contest. Still very much a getting-to-know-you round. Of course, the Bellator welterweight division full of studs. And earlier this week, the big announcement that Douglas Lima would be defending the Bellator welterweight championship against Rory McDonald January 20th at the Forum in Los Angeles. And now it's Gonzalez putting the leather on Lopez.
Lopez, that's a desperation takedown. He's getting hurt by those combinations.
And Jimmy, you'll have a chance to speak with both Lima and McDonald coming up on Spike later tonight as part of Bellator 183.
Now that's when those people go, oh, what fight are you looking forward to? Lima, McDonald, for sure.
Another interesting battle in the welterweight division. 2 guys that know Lima and McDonald very well. Paul Daly, Lorenz Larkin, don't like each other much, so they're gonna,
to put it mildly,
touch each other mildly. Very much like Gonzalez is attempting to do to Lopez here in round 1. Yeah, man, I love the smile at the weigh-in there, Jimmy. Chaos is engulfing the stage. Oh, and it was Gonzalez wanting to end this fight in chaotic fashion, but Lopez took that left hand on the button.
And look at the success. It's always when he's against the fence, no mobility, can't use the feet, and he backs up to it. Doesn't angle, doesn't cut. He lets himself go back to the fence. I think it's a big mistake against Gonzalez. That's where Gonzalez has had success, right here.
Left body kick by Gonzalez. Gonzalez has had the advantage in terms of the more effective striking with the taller Lopez, very much on his back foot most of the round.
Once again, loading up with that left.
Coming up on the final 60 seconds of the first frame, Bellator welterweight action here at the SAP Center in San Jose, California, a venue that has spawned so many incredible mixed martial arts moments over the years, many more to come tonight. Gonzalez, there's an outside low kick. Doesn't he have to keep it simple when it comes to the kicking, Jimmy?
Completely. You know, Lopez has used the lead foot a lot, hasn't used the power foot too much, and not setting up with any hands. That's been a big mistake, I think. It's the one weapon Gonzalez had to look out for, and he's seeing it every time.
Yeah,
gotta change up the combinations. Exactly.
Those naked kicks that allow Gonzalez to step out of range. Final 15 seconds.
But Gonzalez always has the same reaction. He kind of jumps backward. Needs to angle a little bit more. Maybe come in on one of those kicks. Catch Lopez coming in.
Great start for Gonzalez.
Deep break.
No mistake there.
Yeah.
Left push kick to the knee.
Gentlemen, seconds out.
Throw the right hand, and then the next one.
Let's go, gentlemen. Gentlemen, let's fight.
The bell and round 2, and in Gonzalez's corner, 2 of the more cerebral trainers, more accomplished trainers in MMA history. Ramir Mendez, Crazy Bob Cook representing AKA.
Pioneers in the sport, for sure.
Championship factory, and of course Gonzalez would love to one day vie for title contention. Meanwhile, Lopez wanting to do his axe kick again and not scoring with it, although that one may have been south of the equator in the peninsula area, Mr. Smith.
I have to see that again.
Well, he has 5 minutes to recover. How did you score the opening round, Jimmy?
10-9 Gonzalez. Thought he landed the more effective strikes, did more damage, accurate with the combinations. Yeah, he stepped back with that foot, toes caught him. One important thing to keep in mind, if you've never fought, you never had to wear those things, they're designed to take a shot to the front. Whenever you take one to the side, it sucks. Absolutely awful.
I believe it was our brethren, Mr. Joe Rogan, who said that the male body is not anatomically designed correctly.
No, it's not. No, it's awful. It's awful.
And you're right there. I mean, technology can improve the cup as well.
Yes.
I know the Diamond Cup.
Yeah,
been very,
the one in Thailand. A lot of times these are like solid steel.
So again,
sometimes you feel like you need it.
Yeah, up to 5 minutes to recover for Fernando Gonzalez in his second fight as a professional mixed martial artist. 1-0 with 1 KO win. And referee Rosenthal asking him if he's okay to go.
Let's fight.
And he is. They touch gloves in the southpaw Gonzalez against the orthodox Alex Lopez, whose kicking is anything but orthodox.
Yeah, going back to the same strategy employed in round 1. I haven't really seen him throw a punch.
Couple of left hands back. Lopez up to the cage. Gonzalez from Mexico, but fighting out of San Jose, California. Lopez from Salinas.
Once again, surprising, let him off the cage again.
Do you think at
so
this
much success?
Sorry, Jimmy. Do you think at this stage of both his career, being in the embryonic stages, that he's looking to get that experience, or do you feel, hey, if you have your opponent,
you get him? The whole, oh man, I wanted to show more and get more rounds. Forget that. Every minute you spend in the cage or in the ring is dangerous.
This last much ballyhooed prospect Aaron Pico lost his debut in 24 seconds, but he celebrates his 21st birthday today, and he will be a part of the main card coming your way later tonight on Spike. Very mature beyond his years, took that loss in stride, as now Lopez beginning to attack the foundation of Gonzalez.
See the damage on the front leg. Gonzalez pulling it back now.
3 minutes remaining in the middle frame.
The first thing you tell somebody when they start learning kickboxing, when they start learning MMA, how do I deal with the leg kick? If you don't check, throw. Get right as soon as he throws. You throw that overhand left, interrupt him with punches.
No setup whatsoever for Lopez.
None.
Throwing these naked kicks, expending energy, and Fernando Gonzalez is more than content to let him tire himself out. And goes in with the left hand, sweeping right hook by Gonzalez.
But he has to keep up the offense. When he has the real estate, when he has Lopez against the fence, he cannot let him off the hook.
Agreed. Just past the midpoint of the round and the fight. And again, Gonzalez clips Lopez with a left hand.
Lopez has shown almost, I don't know if it's an inability or unwillingness to even throw punches. Keep it chest to chest at punching range. Dare him to kick you in the head from a foot away.
Beautiful combination put together by Fernando Gonzalez. Lopez ducks down, but he eats the shots. Lopez may be thinking, hey, if this MMA game don't work out for me, maybe I can audition for Bellator kickboxing, but not with this kind of technique.
Gotta learn to throw more punches if you want to survive in Bellator kickboxing.
And our main man, Scott Coker, tweeting out the fact that, yes, the Bellator 183 prelims are live across the world, now on @Twitter Sports, and we welcome you from wherever you may be watching. This is welterweight action. Fernando Gonzalez in the red gloves, Alex Lopez in the blue.
Keeps going back in response. He doesn't cut an angle. He doesn't go side to side. He's going straight back every time his kicking attacks start.
Inside low kick that forces Gonzalez to come forward.
Every step back you take in a fight, you got to walk that much more forward to do damage. That's the problem he's having. He's walking back, has to go back in again. Has to pin Lopez against the fence.
Gonzalez lands the lead left hand. Now working the body, another left hand upstairs, and another one. The mouthpiece has fallen out of Fernando Gonzalez's mouth, but he storms back with low kicks that are being checked by Gonzalez. Oh, it's actually Fernando Gonzalez whose mouthpiece fell out of his mouth. Hence the term mouthpiece.
That's where it comes from.
And now, Gonzalez again opening up on Alex Lopez, strafing him with punches along the cage, but it looks like Lopez will survive another round. Wow, good switch kick. Inside low kick. We're going to round 3. Javier Mendez, a kickboxing connoisseur, telling his charge Gonzalez not to stay in kickboxing range. I think Gonzalez has done a good job of avoiding the majority of Lopez's kicks.
But will he make that commitment to inside pressure?
Gentlemen, last round, let's fight!
The bell and round 3. How do you have it after 10 minutes, Jimmy?
2 rounds to none for Gonzalez, but round 2 much closer. Did a lot more damage with the leg kicks. Could be all even.
Southpaw. Gonzalez stalking Lopez again against the fence. Feinting, throws the left. Again, it's...
I mean, almost no other weapons.
Yes, so
almost no other weapons.
What should he be doing, Jimmy?
Oh, at least throw some feints with the hands. I mean, if he doesn't have confidence in his hands, at least snap that jab out once or twice. Try and confuse Gonzalez a bit, because right now it is just kick after kick after kick.
Gonzalez is confident with his hands as Lopez desperately changes levels, looking for the takedown.
Problem is there wasn't enough of a level change, more of a reach. Not going to get him with that.
And again, just telegraphs the shot. What would you like to see more out of Fernando Gonzalez? Because when he does throw combinations, he looks good.
More commitment to that chest-to-chest pressure. Once you get in with the combination, there is no need to step out. There's no reason to go back to kicking range.
Lopez stepped right into that left hand.
Now we're seeing the spinning without the kicks.
Oh, nice left hand right down the middle that scored for Fernando Gonzalez. 3 minutes, 20 seconds left in the fight. Adjustments need to be made by Alex Lopez. And instead, he continues to telegraph every one of his intentions, Jimmy.
Gonzalez can see all of it coming. Doing some good work with leg kicks, but oftentimes, unfortunately in some cases, hard to win rounds with exclusively leg kicks. If you don't do some upper body damage, a lot of times the judges won't side with you.
Now, Gonzalez is completely being the matador here. He needs to return some fire as well as they clinch.
Yeah, shouldn't step back like that. That should never happen. Chest to chest the whole time.
Counter left body kick by Gonzalez on Lopez. Coming up on the midpoint of the final round of this welterweight contest. Gonzalez steals a look at the clock and gets on his bicycle, does some backpedaling. Now, Fernando Gonzalez isn't exactly making the fight either in this third round.
Exactly. In a fight where, as I said, second round was close. He might need this round, and right now he's not fighting like he needs. It's like he's content to stay out of harm's way, and that's not how you win fights.
And Lopez has marked up that lead leg for the southpaw, and again Gonzalez indicating that he may have been hit with another groin shot, but man, he's doing a lot of backpedaling, not returning fire, and sure, he's defending. It's not effective striking, but it isn't really that pleasing to watch either.
You want to avoid damage, you can stay in the stance.
Listen to the crowd. They're getting restless, rightfully so.
You have a guy running at you, and he's just not using his offense. You see, he's backpedaling the whole time.
Series of kicks by Lopez, trying to make the fight, finally throws a left hand. And now with the tie plug, looking for separation to deliver a knee just like that, but blocked by Gonzalez.
Definitely more active in this third round.
Lopez has one submission win. His other two victories via knockout. 45 seconds and two counter left hands. The second one finally dropped Lopez momentarily. Gonzalez did not go in.
Yeah, all slapping punches didn't really turn those fists over.
30 seconds left in the fight. Gonzalez, his smartwatch must have told him to accrue many steps today, Jimmy.
You've reached your limit, is what it said.
10 seconds left in the fight. Lopez trying to corner Gonzalez, but they're going to go to the scorecards.
At Addison Associates, we hope you're never in a car accident. But if you were, would you know what to do?
Jimmy, how do you have it after 3 rounds?
2 rounds to 1. I gave Gonzalez the first 2 rounds. Lopez round 3. Gonzalez, I thought, really took his foot off the gas in the final 5 minutes.
So we await the official scoring here from the California State Athletic Commission as we revisit some of the action from the third round.
It's exclusively kicks from Lopez, and then Gonzalez trying to counter, especially with that left hand. More effective in the first 2 rounds was against the fence. Trying to catch Lopez coming in. He just wasn't able to throw the combinations. Wasn't able to get his own offense going in round 3, but we'll see if rounds 1 and 2 are enough. If Gonzalez ends up losing this fight, it was because of that lack of activity in round 3.
Well, someone's about to take the first L of their professional career. Fernando Gonzalez came into this fight with a record of 1-0, 1 knockout. Alex Lopez, 3-0 with 2 knockouts and 1 submission. You wonder what the delay is all about, Jimmy. Not that hard to score, was it?
That's never a good sign.
No.
You gotta rep what you love. Jesus.
With the official decision here, finally, is Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance, we'll go to your 3 judges at cage side. Your first judge, Derek Cleary, scores the fight 29-28. He sees the fight for Gonzalez. Your second judge, Marcos Rosales, scores the fight 29-28. He sees the fight for Lopez. Your third and final judge at cage side, Michael Gincona, scores the fight 29-28 for the winner by split decision, Fernando Gonzalez Filipino.
Split decision win for Fernando Gonzalez, improving to 2-0, and Alex Lopez drops to 3-1.
Ooh, no surprise there. Thought it was close. Split decision, I think, was justified.
Let's go to Jen Brown.
Well, thanks, Mara. We've got our main event coming your way live and free on Spike at 9 p.m. Eastern, where Patricky Pitbull will enter the Bellator cage for a record-tying 18th time to face a very familiar family foe in Benson Henderson. Here's our Jimmy Smith on why Pitbull is one of Bellator's most dangerous strikers.
Patricky Pitbull, when he took on Josh Thompson in San Jose, Josh Thompson's backyard, everything was loaded in Josh Thompson's favor, and Patricky Pitbull knocked him out. Patricky Pitbull, pound for pound, is one of the most heavy-handed guys on the Bellator roster. He can knock you out with anything he throws, and he's shown it so many times in Bellator. Rob McCullough, his Bellator debut, from the beginning, he's shown the ability to take a bigger name, a guy with a big fan base in front of their hometown crowd, and he's shown the ability to wipe them out. Ask Dave Rickles in Kansas if being in his home crowd helped him out. Ask Kurt Pellegrino if being in New Jersey for his fight against Patricky Pitbull helped him out. Ask Josh Thompson how great it was to fight him in San Jose. It isn't great. It just means more people are silent when you get knocked out.
He revels in delivering those big knockouts, but let's not forget he's facing a guy tonight in Benson Henderson who knows how to take a punch and keep coming forward. So Jimmy Smith, I'm curious, how do you see this one going down tonight?
It all depends on if that chin holds up against the punches of Patricky Pitbull. That is everything. Another important thing to keep in mind, Benson Henderson says, I'm healthy in this fight for the first time in a long time. Considering what he's done, especially his fight against Michael Chandler, unhealthy, that's quite a statement.
He is back following knee surgery. Big main event coming your way later tonight on Spike. Right now, it is time for the Tale of the Tape, brought to you by Dave and Buster's, the only place to eat, drink, play, and watch sports, as we are ready for action in the women's flyweight division.
That's right, Jamie Rivera, 3 inches taller than Karina Herrera.
With the official introductions, here once again is Michael C. Williams.
Tonight from the SAP Center here in San Jose, and live tonight's prelims on Twitter. We now go to 3 5-minute rounds in the flyweight division. Introducing the blue corner at 5'2", weighing in 123.5 pounds. Her professional record stands at 3-3. She fights out of Porterville, California, presenting Karina Herrera. And across the cage, her adversary out of the red corner at 5'5", weighing in 125.4 pounds. Her professional record, 4 wins with 3 losses, fighting out of San Francisco, California, Jamie Queenie Rivera. And the referee in charge of the action, Jason Herzog.
First round, fighter, you ready? Fighter, you ready? Let's fight!
Bell and round 1 of the Bellator women's flyweight division. The first ever Bellator flyweight women's champion will be crowned at Bellator 186 November 3rd when Alima Leigh McFarland battles Emily Ducote for the second time. Of course, these two ladies would love to record a big win here and you know, announce their entrance to a new division in Bellator.
Herrera coming out very aggressively.
Yeah, Karina Herrera sporting the blue gloves, Jamie Rivera in the red gloves. Herrera with the outside low kick and comes through both of these women throwing leather early, and it's become cliche when the women are on the show. Get ready for them to steal said show.
Herrera doing the right thing as a shorter fighter. Get inside. Make it that war of just a few inches. Stay close. Don't stay on the outside.
Herrera 4 years younger than Rivera. Rivera with a slight reach advantage. Rivera Rivera probably most comfortable from mid-range, but now has Herrera's back momentarily.
Herrera got caught mid-spin.
And Rivera pitting Herrera against the fence, but good job by Herrera to turn the tables. They're pummeling, they're jockeying for position, Jimmy.
Let's see if either one of them changes up, goes for a ground game, because they've been content to strike so far.
One of the greatest athletes, period, Herschel Walker, is watching the prelims live on @Twitter Sports. Had the honor and pleasure of calling his foray into MMA, and man, what a football player, what a business person, what a human being, Herschel Walker. He made his MMA debut at 52, by the way.
That dude practically breaks your hands when he shakes it now. Unbelievable.
It's an incredible, and he still does it as a takedown here secured by Rivera, but it's Herrera with the closed guard.
And briefly thought about guillotine. Walking the legs up, trying to stay aggressive from her back. Trying to isolate the right arm of Rivera.
Herrera looking for that arm bar from the
She might have it.
Rivera standing up, showing their power, lifting Herrera up and trying to pile driver, which of course would be illegal.
Trying to shake her off now, bring out that elbow.
Good readjustment.
Uncross her feet, put pressure on the head. Rivera right now doing the right thing, bringing her body down.
Herrera has one submission win on her ledger. 3-3 coming into this fight. Rivera with 4 victories in her 7 pro outings. Rivera wants to stack Herrera. What's her best escape route here for Rivera, Jimmy?
So far, she's doing the right thing. Now she has to shrug out her right elbow and shoulder. So you want put pressure, then turn. Pull that shoulder and elbow out. Right now, she's doing well with the pressure, but not quite turning the right way to pull out that arm.
Hammer fist from the bottom by Herrera, trying to discombobulate Rivera, trying to just get her mind off of the escape, but a bit of a stalemate here.
Well, what she has to do is, really, you can go for it, but you also have to know when it's done. You have to switch to another weapon. Right now, she's got her off base. Able to get it back, but she is tenacious with this armbar. She transitioned to something else. Wrist lock sweep. There are a couple options from here. But what Rivera hasn't been able to do is free that right arm. She's been stuck in this defensive position.
Final minute of the opening round in this women's flyweight matchup.
And so she's trapping the right arm with her knee. Trapping the arm of Herrera makes it much more difficult to finish the armbar.
How do you score this, Jimmy?
Well, you have to score it for at least this position for Herrera. She's the one trying to finish the fight. She's the one being offensive. Yeah, she's on the bottom, but she's the one using her offense to try to finish the fight. That's what you score. The fact that Rivera is successfully defending does not mean anything to the judges.
Scoring criteria: effective striking, grappling, cage control.
Effective defense, no longer a criteria. It was a long time ago, but no longer.
Final seconds as Rivera was able to escape the armbar attempt and finish the round with some ground and pound.
Protecting yourself, trying not to get submitted. Points for effective grappling, definitely to Herrera. Brief ground and pound at the end. Nothing great, nothing super clean. Definitely the ground belonging to Herrera.
And of course, watching on Twitter Sports, Bellator.com, or various other areas on social media. Don't forget, you can be a part of the conversation at hashtag Bellator183.
Second round, fight, are you ready? Fight, are you ready? Fight!
Round 2 begins. How did you score the first 5 minutes?
10-9 Herrera. I thought she started out aggressively on the feet, and then, once again, trying to finish the fight with the armbar. It's 10-9 to me.
Marina Herrera in the blue gloves. Jamie Rivera in the red gloves. Women's flyweight action. Again, the crowning of the inaugural Bellator Women's Flyweight Champion will happen at Bellator 186, November 3rd. It's a rematch. Alima Leigh McFarland already holds a victory over Emily Ducote, but as we saw recently, Ducote continues to improve by leaps and bounds.
I think they're the two top of the division. I think they're the ones that when you said who's going to fight for the title at 125, they're the ones that deserve it. They're the ones who are fighting for it. It's the right fight.
Yeah, McFarland more than ready to become Bellator Women's Flyweight Champion. Our own Jen Brown, very pumped up about tonight's card. She's looking forward to seeing Lorenz Larkin and Paul Daly finally let their fists do the talking. They've been
they almost did it at the weigh-in.
Yeah, they've been talking a lot of trash, instigated, of course, by Paul Daly. Lorenz Larkin says,
"What? I don't believe Paul Daly."
Lorenz Larkin says he has never hated an opponent more. That can also bite him.
Exactly. How much do you want that to be a factor in a fight? Change isn't good. Some fighters need to be emotional in every fight. That's just how they are. Others come in ice cold.
It's a low kick, couple of them by Navarro to Herrera's lead leg.
I want to see that jab. Right jab.
Again, Navarro targeting the lead leg of Herrera.
Herrera not stepping forward like she was in round one, not pushing the pace like she did in the opening 5 minutes.
You
hear her corner saying she's gassed out because she's not attacking like she was.
Keep the jab distance on it. She's short.
Referee Jason Herzog warning them about their fingers, and of course that's another, you know, we talked about the cups in the men's fight, Jimmy. We've got to figure out a better design for MMA gloves. Or maybe this, you know, fighters, I guess, have to get used to the fact that you just can't lead with your fingers open.
That's well-publicized problems with that.
Counter right hand by Navarro into the Thai plum, delivers a Muay Thai knee right up the middle to Herrera, and pins her along the fence momentarily, delivering knee strikes while Herrera desperately trying to fight out with the right hand.
This is where that height advantage is so crucial in the Thai plum, in the clinch. She's able to land much taller knees.
Not grab the cage again.
Coming up on the final minute and a half of the second stanza, they are jockeying for position along the fence. Navarro pinning Herrera along the fence, but it's Herrera with the double overhooks. Or, yeah, Herrera.
Yep. Nice takedown by Navarro.
But Navarro finds herself in a position here where she's going to run out of real estate, and Herrera may try to manipulate this position, maybe try to wall walk, but she's content with just controlling Navarro's posture at the moment.
Yeah, Herrera really yet to find her offense in round two. We saw it in round one with the punches and with the armbar, but been more of a defensive mode in round two.
Coming up at 9 o'clock Eastern and Pacific on Spike, Bellator 183. The debut of Big Country Roy Nelson against a heavyweight who loves to spoil Bellator. Herrera going for the armbar. Navarro here in the closing moments of the second round.
Got to get her toe out. You see your toes, it's getting caught in the fence periodically. She needs to extend her hips in order to finish the armbar. But Navarro, once again, keeping too much weight on her.
So Herrera went fishing for the big one here at the Shark Tank, but comes up empty again.
Fishing at the Shark Tank. That, man, you know.
It's what I do, Jimmy. It's what I do.
It's what you do, dude. I just,
Yeah, I'm going to push it in.
man.
Sit down. Sit down. Sit down.
Now, the fans at home know you have an open thesaurus right here on the desk. They think it comes out of your brain, but it's, folks, I'm telling you right here, it's huge Webster's thesaurus.
Matter you touch anything, keep the jab, tech that day. Keep the jab, tech that day.
What, Ryan? Hey, ubiquitous. And you start looking, I've seen you do it.
When I don't have to do the heavy lifting, thanks to working with a guy as professional as you, the thing's just done. Boom.
That's how the magic happens, folks.
Baby.
That's how it happens.
So, we'd like to see a little more flow in this third round between these two women flyweights.
Look,
You know, at the end of a fight, you can win, you can lose, stuff can happen. Joe Soto, obviously his cornerman, knows going to give him good advice. Give her good advice. It's, did I not do enough? Did I lose that fight because I just didn't do quite enough? That's a bad feeling to go home with.
Thank you. Thank you.
And while the crowd continues to fill in here at the SAP Center in San Jose, California, the venue itself can be intimidating for these two fighters who are just really getting on track in their career. And you know, after 2 rounds, the butterflies should be disappearing. And yeah, they're starting off way more positively on cue.
That's how Herrera started off round 1.
This is more like it.
Nice timing on that takedown.
And right into side control goes Jamie Navarro, but Herrera very aggressive on the bottom, being admonished for that 12-6 elbow.
Elbow to the back of the head. Aim for the ears, that's what you just told her.
And that's what she's trying to do. But again, Navarro finds herself in dominant position.
Good step over by Herrera.
What a reversal by Corina Herrera, the 28-year-old out of Porterville, California. Looking to move above the 500 mark in her career.
Now, quick ground mistake. She stepped over a little too early, ended up in half guard. Now full guard.
And now it's Navarro who gets to show off her ground game from the back. Navarro, of course, defended the arm bar from the bottom, both in the first and second rounds. Let's see what she's got for a ground game.
Trying to isolate the arm as well. If she can get that leg over the face, she's almost there. That right arm in a lot of danger.
And of course, Herrera trying to...
She's got it, but she lets go of the arm. Now going omoplata.
3 of Navarro's 4 victories have been via tap out.
Trying to go gogoplata, but it's not going to happen from that position. No way.
Memories of Takanori Gomi and Nick Diaz. One of the greatest fights ever.
Incredible.
Unnecessarily spoiled by THC test results. Come on.
Ridiculous.
3:15 left in the third and final round here. There's women's flyweight fight. Herrera from top position now, trying to open up some ground and pound on Navarro. And talking about the Fireball Kid, though, Jimmy, Takanori Gomi, of course.
Well, remember his great years.
Yes.
You saw him at his best.
The Bushido series, but now loser of 5 in a row as Navarro again looking to secure the armbar from the bottom on Herrera.
Both these ladies showing they can go for the submission from their backs. That arm is deep. She's got to straighten it out. Keep pressure on the head. That's the key to the armbar, is pressure on the head. Keeping your opponent off balance.
Final 2.5 minutes of the fight.
Great job with the sweep. She can come out on top. You can choose whether you go for the armbar or just stay with mount. She's going with the armbar, staying with it.
Navarro looking to move to 5-3. Herrera looking to improve to 4-3 in this Bellator women's flyweight preliminary matchup.
She's getting tenacious with that armbar. Herrera's in the position that Navarro was in round 1, just all defense, trying to keep from getting tapped, trying to keep her positioning, trying to keep her base under her, but not able to get her own offense going.
Switch your foot, Jamie, switch your feet.
Navarro's corner imploring her to switch her feet. Jimmy, elaborate.
Navarro, what happens is with the situation they were in, like I said, that double pressure on the back and on the face is hard to do with your feet crossed. You want to uncross and put pressure on the head, but now it's about the ground and pound of Navarro. She made the choice to abandon that armbar. I think it was a good one. Take top position.
Herrera trying to control Navarra's posture. Navarra trying to break the grip, posture up, deliver some more ground and pound in the final minute of the fight. Referee Herzog asking Herrera to work.
Right now it's Navarra putting the pressure on.
Ooh, slashing elbow, that second one just, oh, the third and fourth one do connect on Herrera.
She's still trying to isolate the right arm of Navarra. She's got an angle, she's gonna do it, she's gotta do it now.
And here in San Jose, we have seen many vicious elbow strikes, courtesy of former Strikeforce lightweight champion Gilbert Melendez. He and Josh Thompson with one of the more underrated trilogies in MMA history.
Epic.
All three fights took place here at the Shark Tank, and we're going to hear from Josh Thompson later tonight. But this fight now into its final seconds. Herrera, Navarra go the distance. Unofficial scorecard belongs to my broadcast partner, Jimmy Smith.
I gave Navarra the last 2 rounds. That's 29-28. I only gave Herrera round number 1. Both ladies aggressive on the feet to open up. A look at this spin. Beautiful timing on the takedown by Navarra. This time avoiding the guard, going right around to side control. Here was the sweep. Going for the armbar. Finally let it go, took top position, and vicious ground and pound. And Herrera on the defensive at the end of this round, at the end of the fight. Last 5 minutes belong to the groundwork of Navarra.
Will Jamie Navarra improve to 5-3? Or does her opponent, Corina Herrera, move to 4-3 in women's flyweight competition? There's Joe Soto, the MMA veteran, her trainer. And let's hope that this isn't a trend for the rest of the night. Again, a pregnant pause when it comes to the scoring here.
I love you.
She loves you too, Miss Navarra. I believe Michael C. Williams has the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance, we'll go to your 3 judges. Your first judge, Susan Gitlin, scores the fight 30-26. Judge Derek Cleary scores the fight 29-28. And Judge Ken Coffey scores the fight 29-27. All have it for the winner by unanimous decision, Jamie Queenie Navarra.
Jamie Navarra records her 5th victory. And gracious in defeat is Corina Herrera. And a look at the women's flyweight division. Again, the inaugural women's flyweight champion in Bellator to be crowned coming up November 3rd. Bellator 186, Salima Leigh McFarlane against Emily Ducote. All right, let's go back to Jen Brown.
Well, thank you, Mauro. All right, we got more Bellator fight action coming your way in just a bit. But first, I want to remind fight fans that we've got a stacked main card coming your way live and free on Spike. Now, our main card guarantees action as Patricky Pitbull ranks 2nd all-time in Bellator knockouts. And Benson Henderson is a former Fighter of the Year winner. two guys have been a lot of wars, and they both never disappoint when they step into the cage. A big fight card overall tonight on Spike, but of course, fight fans have been eagerly awaiting the Bellator debut of Roy Nelson. Now our Jimmy Smith takes a look at the transformation of Big Country and the dangerous, heavy hands of Javi Ayala that await him.
So much excitement from the fans about Roy Nelson coming over to Bellator. Why? Because he has an overhand right that can knock out anyone in the division. He can sleep you with that right hand, the left hook. He was known as a grappler, as a jiu-jitsu guy, but what really made his name later on in his career was his ability to knock fighters out. His willingness to stand toe-to-toe with anyone, to show no fear, to never back down, to laugh and have a good time as he knocked his opponent out. That enthusiasm infects everyone who watches him. That's why fans can't wait to see him. That's why the Bellator fans can't wait to see how he stacks up in the Bellator heavyweight division. But the person who's there right now to welcome him is Javi Ayala. And we saw against Sergey Kharitonov, you cannot look past this kid. He may look like he's having a good time, smiling, always a great attitude, always excited. But when he lands with that big right hand, Sergey Kharitonov found out in 16 seconds what happens. When Roy Nelson and Javi Ayala meet in the Bellator cage, don't blink, because anything can happen.
All right, well, Jimmy is right, because Big Country, he holds 10 first-round knockouts to his credit, and Javi Ayala, well, he holds the 8th fastest KO in Bellator history, so for sure, you don't want to look away on this one, because you might just miss something epic. Mauro?
All right, Jen, yes, indeed. I have a feeling that Big Country and Ayala going to go at it like a couple of Twitter troglodytes. And we welcome everyone on Twitter watching us here at Bellator MMA Prelims as we go to the tail of the tape. Brought to you by Dave & Buster's, the only place to eat, drink, play, and watch sports. The featherweights on deck, Jimmy.
And Bolanos versus LaRocco. Control the emotions. Both guys very young in their MMA careers. Who will spend the most energy on nerves?
With the official particulars, here once again, Michael C. Williams.
Bellator MMA tonight from San Jose, California now presents 3 5-minute rounds in the featherweight division. Introducing the blue corner at 5'7", 145.5 pounds. His professional record stands at 1-1 from Vallejo, California, presenting Brandon Little Beast LaRocco. And across the cage is adversary out of the red corner at 5'7", weighing in 146 pounds even. Early on, his record stands undefeated at 1-0 by way of Lima, Peru. He fights out of Dublin, California, Gaston, the Dream Killer Bolaños. And the referee in charge of the action, Mike Beltran.
All right, gentlemen, first round. You ready to fight? You ready to fight? Hell, go!
The bell in round one. Referee may be officially named Mike Beltran. He'll always be Ox Baker to me. Google it, kids, as we are set. 3 5-minute rounds here in the Bellator featherweight division. In the blue gloves, Brandon LaRocco, 1-1 against Gaston Bolaños in the red gloves. He's undefeated. And this is his sophomore MMA fight.
Bolaños known for his kickboxing skills. Nice straight left, though.
Beautiful combination by the southpaw LaRocco in the early stages of the opening round, looking for that oblique kick as well in the opening 30 seconds.
A favorite of Benson Henderson.
Yes.
He's fighting later tonight.
Benson Henderson has had 2 title opportunities thus far in his Bellator tenure. He knows he needs to look impressive in that main event against Patricky Pitbull if he wants another shot at Michael Chandler.
Nice head kick.
Beautiful head kick. And of course, Patricky Pitbull, he's 0-2 against Chandler. And he wants another crack at the title that's now around the waist of Brent Primus.
That mixes things up and changes it.
Well, let's focus here on this intriguing featherweight contest and a good start for Brandon LaRocco.
I like the statement he's making. I'm not scared of your kickboxing pedigree. I'm coming after you.
LaRocco quickly closing the distance.
I like the speed. I like the accuracy so far by LaRocco, but Bolanos staying very composed.
Bolanos, though, well, there he caught him with the left hand from the orthodox position. I was going to say not really reading the range properly. That spinning back kick just missed, and a counter right hand clipping LaRocco. Good start to this fight.
You know, that's something that's challenging. You and I have been around this business for a long time. The amateur circuit, the quality of training. Guys come in 1 or 2 fights and show skills you didn't see for years in the beginning of the sport.
And we've reached that stage as, for instance, Rory McDonald, who is going to be challenging Douglas Lima for the welterweight title January. I called Rory McDonald's first pro fight. I mean, they are now training in MMA. It's no longer, hey, I come from wrestling. I come from, look at even Aaron Pico. He was boxing at 9, wrestling at 4. And man, you talk about his camp working with Freddie Roach.
It's its own sport now.
Bob Cook, now Aaron McKee. Oh!
Antonio McKee, the Body Shop, outstanding team. Pico has nothing but great things to say about them.
And he gets back on the horse against Justin Lin, another fighter with more experience than Pico. That's coming up at Bellator 183 later tonight. Live and free on Spike, just past the midpoint of the opening round.
And Bolanos starting to find his range a little bit, starting to find his confidence. He was flustered a little bit by the speed of LaRocco in the beginning.
LaRocco again looking for that spinning back kick and jumping into close guard.
Now that's showing a lot of bravery, jumping guard in MMA.
And Bolanos appears to be physically stronger, quickly to posture up.
Going quickly for the sweep. All that stuff hard to pull off in MMA. The reason you don't see many guard pulls in mixed martial arts.
That right head kick blocked nicely by Bolanos. But even when you block a kick in MMA or any combat sport, it not necessarily means it doesn't hurt. Oh, spinning back elbow by Bolanos. So,
especially with these gloves.
Oof. These two have got tricks for days, it seems, Jimmy.
Yeah, great stuff. Very high level with the striking.
Under 1.5 minutes remaining in the first round.
Nice left over the top.
LaRocco dropped Bolanos momentarily. Bolanos bounces right back to his feet.
But you see the inexperience there. Rushed a bit too much, ended up in a clinch. Should have taken his time and backed off a little bit.
And again, we try to thread the needle here of this fight. Aaron Pico in his first fight rushed in. He even admitted it too fast.
Rookie mistakes.
And here, Bolanos and LaRocco continuing to try to light each other up. Final minute, nice counter right hand by LaRocco. Bolanos able to close the distance, delivering some knee strikes. Neither of those knees were highly effective. And again, Bolanos putting himself in peril with that spinning elbow, attempting immediately. LaRocco goes for the back.
One hook in. He's a little high in the ride right now. Wants to settle down, get a little bit lower. It's going to be hard to fit that left knee in up against the fence.
LaRocco looking for his first submission win as a pro. He's 1-1 with 1 win via form and knockout, looking to flatten Bolanos out. But running out of time, Jimmy.
10 seconds.
But it's important to ice a close round, end up on top, end the round with some nice ground and pound.
Stop! Stop. It was at the bell.
Enjoyable opening 5 minutes between Gaston Bolanos and Brandon LaRocco. Daily, Lorenz Larkin coming up.
Hey, Al,
welterweight grudge match later tonight. Bellator 183 live and free on Spike. Don't miss it. 9 o'clock Eastern and Pacific.
All right, gentlemen, second round. You ready to fight? You ready to fight? Hal, let's go.
Bell and round number 2. And Jimmy, how did you score that entertaining opening 5 minutes?
10-9 LaRocco. Thought he landed some good strikes.
Oh,
great stuff! Look at that
kick! And he definitely has staggered Gaston Bolanos. LaRocco going in with a kill shot, and Bolanos desperately trying to recover.
He's got to do something, or this is going to be over very, very soon. Bolanos is rocked. He does not have his wits about him at all.
LaRocco blasted Bolanos, and Bolanos still trying to clear the cobwebs, coming back with a spinning back elbow that missed, and LaRocco just put leather on Bolanos.
And Mike Beltran all over this.
Left hook, right hand.
He's looking to stop it. If anything significant lands, this could be it.
And LaRocco lighting up Bolanos like the San Jose skyline at night. Bolanos desperately trying to hold on. LaRocco feeding Bolanos a steady diet of leather.
And Bolanos doing just enough to stay in this fight.
Wow!
Gets a takedown.
And Bolanos coming back with a takedown, a much-needed takedown, with a minute and a half gone in the second.
I think LaRocco just really punched himself out, looking for that finish. Now triangle trouble. Got to angle his hips. He's in great position here.
Wow, terrific stuff from these two up-and-coming featherweights. LaRocco in just his third professional fight. Bolanos, this is his second pro outing.
You get underneath the leg and really tighten this. This can be over. All he needs to do is use his left arm to hook the leg. He can tighten it.
And now to triangle.
Into the mount. Mounted triangle, still deadly. Giving the thumbs up. That might not last.
There is, well, he's out. He's out cold. And Brandon LaRocco, just like his favorite drink, he put Gaston Bolanos on ice with that scintillating submission.
Beautiful stuff. Love the striking. Love the triangle.
And by the way, at 22, Brandon LaRocco can enjoy an adult beverage.
Remember this name. This is a stacked division, but the new blood is what makes it interesting. Man, all started when he hurt Bolanos. Look at it here. Wow! Spinning kick right to the jaw. And then never let him off the hook. That was in round one. He had success with the head kick before. And I loved the killer instincts. He never let Bolanos off the hook, landing lefts and rights. Bolanos doing everything he could to stay in this fight. But here, look, after he rolls out, in triangle position, and see the arms drop, he's out. Mike Beltran recognizing that fight is over. Beautiful stuff by this kid.
Let's go to Michael C. Williams for the official announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage with the triangle choke in tight, referee Mike Beltran waves off the contest, the technical submission officially. 2 minutes, 16 seconds into round number 2. The winner, Brandon Little Piece LaRocco.
Brandon LaRocco picking up the first submission win of his embryonic career. Impressive triangle choke victory over Gaston Bolanos. Still to come in the main event of Bellator 183, beginning at 9, live and free on Spike. Benson Henderson versus Patricky Pitbull. Our Jimmy Smith tells you what to look out for.
Patricky Pitbull versus Benson Henderson in San Jose. The tough part of this fight is that if you're Ben Henderson, I don't know what he has in his head, if it's concrete or cement or whatever, rocks. He takes punches that would drop anyone in the division. And he isn't just still there. He's bouncing around looking like he doesn't have a mark on his face. Patricky Pitbull is a power puncher. The last time he was in San Jose, he knocked out Josh Thompson in front of his hometown crowd. He knocked out Kurt Pellegrino, Caveman Rickles, Ryan Couture. When he puts hands on you, he finishes you. Can he keep that pressure on when he lands a big left hook, big uppercut, and Benson Henderson is still standing in front of him? So that's the interesting part to me when breaking this fight down. Can the power puncher in Patricky Pitbull stay confident when his power punches don't drop the iron-chinned Benson Henderson? Can Benson Henderson put away rounds and put away minutes and stay in the danger zone long enough to win a fight against a guy who one shot can put him away? That's the question of this.
Great styles clash coming your way. A very important lightweight division matchup in Bellator. That's the main event for Bellator 183 later tonight on Spike. All right, we are set for women's flyweight action. Tale of the tape brought to you by Dave & Buster's, the only place to eat, drink, play, and watch sports.
Now, nothing highlighted. Both these fighters physically very, very similar. If you didn't see Brooke Mayo's last fight against Vita Ortega, she became a sensation, not because she won, but because she had an eye that looked like a softball, turned to the referee and begging, pleading, please don't stop the fight. If the doctor had walked in and stopped it, she gained so many fans with that.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of hematomas as we revisit the action. Jimmy Barkamanic, Matt Mitrione, Hasim Rockman, but here, a valiant effort by Brooke Mayo.
And look at this.
Impassioned plea.
And, you know, you and I have called a lot of fights, and we've seen fighters put up the, I was okay, and they know damn well they weren't good. This is a fighter who wanted, needed to continue that fight. She was passionate about it.
She earned so many fans with that, and showing the guts and heart. And you know what? She's set now to get back into the cage. Let's go to Michael C. Williams for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miller Lite tonight presents Bellator MMA. And now inside the Bellator cage, we'll go 3 5-minute rounds in the flyweight division. Introducing the blue corner. At 5'8", weighing in 125.2 pounds. Her professional record early on stands at 0-2. She fights out of Spanish Fork, Utah, presenting Caitlin Katniss Neal. And across the cage, her adversary out of the red corner at 5'7", weighing in 126 pounds even. Her professional record early on stands at 0-1. She fights out of Sacramento, California, Brooke the Bully Mayo. In charge of the action, referee Josh Rosenthal.
Josh Rosenthal back to officiate this women's flyweight matchup, the second on tonight's prelims.
You ready? You ready? Let's fight.
Brooke Mayo in the red gloves. Her opponent, Caitlin Neal, sporting the blue gloves. Neal looking for her first win, 0-2, and Mayo, well, she's also looking for her first win after that fight against Ortega that we just took a look back at. And Jimmy, you talk about a new division for Bellator, relatively speaking. The first champion will be crowned later this year. Talk about the depth in this matchup.
Now, that's the thing, is that in a division like this, it's new. Even the champs, even people fighting for the belt, under 10 fights. There's a lot of opportunity for that pro debuter who just has a great outing and the one who strings a couple fights together to be right there in the mix.
And Mayo stringing together a series of body kicks on Caitlin Neal, making her Bellator debut. Neal went undefeated as an amateur. Includes a win over Bellator MMA veteran Vita Ortega, the one we just talked about, who defeated Brooke Mayo after that hematoma.
You see why I didn't have anything highlighted on tail tape. Physically very similar, same height, similar reach.
Since we last saw Mayo, she has joined Team Alpha Male in Sacramento full-time. A great camp. Sarah McMahon, Cynthia Calvillo, who are the UFC veterans, really helping her out there, as well as, I'm sure, Uriah Faber in the crew. In fact, Brooke Mayo started soccer at the age of 5, was very good at it, but developed what is known as compartment syndrome. And jiu-jitsu has helped her, and that's what introduced her to MMA.
Started out as therapy for it. And she had a lot of confidence in the Ortega fight in her ground game. That's where she thought she had the distinct advantage. But right now, content to test out her striking.
Yeah, of course, compartment syndrome affects the legs. Not a doctor, don't play one on TV if you want to learn more. You can Google it, but Caitlin Neal, Brooke Mayo, learning more about it.
Nice right hand.
With the right hand, pitting Neal against the fence. Neal, a former competitive cheerleader, entered the gym without any knowledge of combat sports, but having an athletic background, a strong competitive edge. And Neal suddenly became very passionate about this sport. And Neal turning the tables on Mayo, has her pinned along the fence now, just past the midpoint of the first round. Back and forth they go, Jimmy. How can they implement the advantage? How do you impose your will from this position?
Well, first you lock them up, put them against the fence. Then it's a matter of what's that next level, just like this. Is it body lock? Is it drop to the double leg, inside trip? A lot of options. Brooke Mayo doing a good job with the body lock, but Neal holding on to that whizzer. Good job.
Nice takedown. The Bellator MMA Universe enjoying the prelim action on Twitter Sports. Yeah, it is rad, isn't it? Is rad still a cool term?
It's still a thing. Still a thing, trust me.
Minute 45 left in the first round, and it's Mayo on her back, open guard on Caitlin Neal.
Trying to isolate the right arm. Neal holding on. Man, look at the flexibility on Mayo. See if she transitions armbar omoplata.
Yeah, various options for Brooke Mayo, but Caitlin Neal content to just ride it out. Coming up on the final 60 seconds of the round, Brooke Mayo became obsessed with MMA when she watched Chuck Liddell and Rich Franklin at UFC 115. It was her graduation present. That's how much she loves combat sports. And now Neal stacking Mayo up.
That looks, she was briefly thinking knee bar, but legs are in the wrong position. North-south, she has to transition out of this position.
Down to the final 30 seconds of the opening round. Mayo swiveling her hips.
Freed the knee to get out of that north-south position. Controlling the wrist, that means triangle 9 times out of 10. Looks like she's going forward, and omoplata is a possibility.
Quick posture up by Caitlin Neal, back up to her feet. Final 10 seconds of the first round. Who wants to leave a lasting impression with the judges?
There you go.
1-1-2 also follows those kicks. Okay? Punches, then kicks. Punches, then kicks. Here we go.
On your legs. Pour water on your legs. On the legs. Dry your legs off. Front. Good, come on. Ladies, let's fight.
Referee Josh Rosenthal calls for the bell. Second round begins. Jimmy, your unofficial scorecard reads.
I had it 10-9 Brooke Mayo. I thought she was the aggressor in round 1. I like what Neal's corner said in between rounds. Hey, nerves are gone now. Now it's time to be the bully.
Caitlin Neal looking for the head kick. Neal in the blue gloves, graduated from Utah Valley University, a Bachelor of Science in Community Health, and was even on the Dean's List because of her high GPA. Congratulations to Caitlin Neal, and of course in this sport, fight IQ is so important, Jimmy. And what do we mean when we say fight IQ, by the way?
The ability to see past the emotional parts of the fight, to have a game plan, to follow it, to sense what's coming because of your experience both in the gym and in the cage. You writing all that down? That's useful. That's useful stuff.
A minute gone here in round 2.
I'm at the Dean's List myself. Thank you.
UCLA Bruins, right?
UCLA Bruins.
Actually started my career in high school. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be like that, is it? I don't know. Canadian high schools. I don't know if that even means anything. All right.
This means a lot to Brooke Mayo, working diligently for the takedown on Caitlin Neal. How did she secure it?
Just like this. She started with a body lock in round 1. Same thing. This time, across to the ankle. Got to drive through the whizzer from this position. The whizzer battle usually goes to the one whose head is higher.
Neal able to stand straight up. Yep, spins up, but again finds herself against the fence. The struggle is real, Jimmy.
You bet. Now pulling her head out, trying to come out the back. There she is. No hooks in yet. But in these clinch positions so far, Mayo's been effective.
3 minutes remaining in the second round, and Neal wearing Mayo like a Velcro right now, but again, she can't just stand there in this, you know, static environment. Neal has to do something here. What does she got to do? Oh.
Get off the fence. Get off the fence and turn.
She's going to be taken for a ride. Looked like Mayo was looking for a German suplex almost.
One hook in.
But now has her on the ground.
Neal's got to turn right here and end up on top.
Methodical execution here by Brooke Mayo. Again, took up Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu after her problems with compartment syndrome ruined her soccer career.
Toes out the fence.
And Mayo had a message for everyone suffering from compartment syndrome that martial arts, one of the best things that helps with the mental stress, the psychological stress of that kind of ailment.
Very true. And what Neal has to watch now is her right arm as she tries to pull out of this position. If she leaves that right arm behind, right now Mayo's in good position to snatch it up with an armbar.
Both of them looking for their first professional victories. Neal 0-2, Mayo 0-1. Hey, it's really just begun for these two women's flyweights in Bellator, much like the division in Bellator. Crowning gets a world champion later this year, and Mayo looking for that armbar on the bottom.
Well, she had to be careful with that right arm. Let it dangle as she was trying to posture out of that position. You see Neal trying to keep pressure on Brooke Mayo. The fence is helping her too. It's hard for Brooke Mayo to straighten her body out, to really get her hips into this submission.
And the final 60 seconds of the second round upon us. Referee Josh Rosenthal watching diligently.
And even if Neal doesn't get submitted, in the eyes of the judges, this is offense from Brooke Mayo. Defense not a criteria anymore.
30 seconds, and Neal now tries to implement some offense.
Once again, angling for the armbar again.
25-year-old Caitlin Neal, 25-year-old Brooke Mayo. They have battled through 10 minutes of Bellator women's flyweight division action.
Handbrake. Brooke. Let's go. Come on. Come on. All right, ladies, last round. Fight.
And the bell goes. Third and final round between Caitlin Neal in the blue gloves, Brooke Mayo in the red gloves. Women's flyweight division action. Jimmy, how do you have it on your unofficial scorecard?
2-0 for Brooke Mayo. Once again, based on her aggression for the most part, her takedown, going after the submission. Caitlin Neal needs to find her offensive strength.
Separate, separate, there you go. Right elbow, right elbow, right elbow. Strike, strike, strike. 1 minute, not before you go. Almost up there, go. Right there, go, 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 go. Let's go, move your hands.
Men's light heavyweight action will wrap up Bellator MMA prelims. In the course of 5-fight main card coming your way here from the SAP Center in San Jose, California. Bellator 183 live and free on Spike at 9 Eastern and Pacific.
It's been the aggression of Brooke Mayo. Neal a little too passive. I don't think getting her own offense going. It's giving Brooke Mayo so far free rein to do what she wants. She's pushing the action forward. In between rounds, it was be the bully. That's what Neal's corner told him. So far, Brooke Mayo's been the bully.
Yeah, a couple of knees by Brooke Mayo, creating separation. Momentarily, short right hand by Caitlin Neal, but Not a lot of mustard behind her shots as she is pinned up along the fence.
This is where she's gotten her takedowns in the first 2 rounds, against the fence from this body lock position. Pull that head out, she can take the back.
Oh,
Neal, the throw, that's risky.
Has Mayo on her back along the fence, but it's Mayo that's controlling the positioning and able to get back up onto a vertical base with 2.5 minutes left in the bout.
Trying to step behind the legs.
And was that wise for Caitlin Neal just to go right back into the belly of the beast, so to speak, Jimmy?
I would have made some effort to pass the legs. Being on top's not a bad idea, but I would have tried to get around this guard because we've seen so far Brooke Mayo very effective with it, confident with her guard, very flexible.
And the term beast obviously used figuratively, Mr. Smith. I know beast, we live in a politically correct
it's a
world.
compliment to a fighter. Beastly. Come on, say it with pride. Beast. Thank you.
Brooke Mayo.
I'm a fighter, trust me, I understand. These are my people.
Yes.
Okay.
Controlling the posture.
Beast is a compliment. She's doing a great job from her back, like the flexibility, the creativity, and Neal not able to get anything done.
Mayo with the jab, then the body kick. 1:15 left in the fight. The first real attempt at a striking exchange in this affair.
And they've been, I don't know what she's looking at the referee about.
Yeah, Neal stopped momentarily, under a minute left in the fight. Neal to a southpaw position, and Mayo just comes right forward, backs her up to the fence again.
And this is what Neal has allowed Brooke Mayo to do throughout this fight. Bring the physical pressure, be the aggressor, control the real estate. That's why I think she's ahead.
I need you to get that single leg. You have 40 seconds. Finish the round on top. 30 seconds. Finish the round.
Tick-tock goes the clock, final 30 in this fight.
One takedown. I need one takedown. One takedown. I have 25 seconds. 25 seconds left. Kick off the cage. One takedown.
Final 10 seconds. Does Caitlin Neal have an Aaron Rodgers type Hail Mary in her arsenal? They go the distance, Jimmy.
I think Brooke Mayo slightly ahead to me in every round. We'll see if the judges agree. We've seen recently decisions that were controversial. Hopefully we don't get another one.
If the judges don't agree with Jimmy Smith,
I mean, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
And don't remind me of that 182-110.
I will not.
So 15 minutes elapsed in this women's flyweight matchup. Brooke Mayo again coming back from that hematoma that she said she could see. She desperately wanted to continue her last fight. Referee stopped it. Suffered her first loss in her first fight, and now her body language says she's victorious. Jimmy Smith, on his unofficial scorecard, says she's victorious. And meanwhile, if you look at Caitlin Neal, she's, well, just waiting for the judges' scores, putting her arms up. All right, Michael C. Williams has the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance, we'll go to your 3 judges at cage side. Judges Wade Vieira, Marcos Rosales, and Ken Coffey. All see the fight exactly the same, 29-28. All have it for the winner by unanimous decision, Caitlin Katniss Neal.
You were saying, Jimmy.
I said I've seen worse. Judges disagreed with me. It happens sometimes.
Caitlin Neal, 29-28 across the board, improves to 1-2. Brooke Mayo in disbelief falls to 0-2. All right, well, he gets a second chance to make a first impression. Jen Brown is joined by Aaron Pico.
All right, Aaron, your pro debut didn't go quite like you'd hoped, so I'm curious, what did you work on it, and more specifically, what changes did you make to get ready for tonight's fight?
I don't think I really changed anything. I think just more experience I need. I think this time around, I've seen everything. I've seen how all the protocol, everything works. So I feel a lot more comfortable, and I'm ready to go.
Let's talk about it, because you started at 155. You're dropping down tonight to 145. Now, most of your success as a wrestler came at 143. So what went into the decision to drop down a class?
It was really hard for me to keep weight on to make 155. So when it was all said and done, when I just started to go back and just eat normal, my weight was dropping. So I was like, you know what, I'm a 45-pounder. And in weigh-ins, I mean, I was 2 pounds under. I mean, I'm not cutting crazy amount of weight. So this is my weight. I've wrestled here pretty much for years. So this is where my body, I believe, responds the best.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing you back in the Bellator cage tonight. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
So the birthday boy, Aaron Pico, tweeting the best of all time, probably wouldn't be considered the best of all time if they didn't have a loss to push them to become better. Jimmy, Chris Cyborg lost her first fight. She became a champion. Bernard Hopkins lost his first fight. He became a champion. It's rare, but it's definitely not impossible.
Especially in MMA, which is much more forgiving of losses.
All right, we are set for this men's light heavyweight matchup. Tale of the tape brought to you by Dave & Buster's, the only place to eat, drink, play, and watch sports.
Now look, Tony Johnson, 5-2, more experienced than Michael Ortega.
Here's Michael C. Williams with the official introductions.
SAP Center Bellator MMA presents the light heavyweight division, set for 3 5-minute rounds. We introduce the blue corner. At 6'2", weighing in 204.9 pounds. His professional record stands at 2-3. He fights out of Dublin, California, Michael Ortega. And across the cage, his adversary out of the red corner at 6'2", weighing in 205 pounds even. His professional record, 5 wins, 2 losses, fighting out of San Jose, California, introducing Tony Johnson. And the referee in charge of the action, Jason Herzog.
SAP Center, San Jose, California, men's light heavyweight action. Mike Ortega on the blue gloves, Tony Johnson in the red gloves. 3 5-minute rounds, bell, and round 1. Ryan Bader, new Bellator light heavyweight champion, set to defend his title for the first time against Linton Vassell at Bellator 186 November 3rd. Here Johnson and Ortega want to move one step up the proverbial ladder in Bellator MMA. Ortega with the blue gloves, 2-3, 1 submission win. Tony Johnson wearing the red gloves. He's 5-2 and has power. Jimmy with 3 finishes via strikes.
He's coming out trying to land that right hand. Left hand being the setup. He's pawing with it. Artel already has confidence in the right hand.
And of course, the bigger the weight, the heavier the fighter, the more you have an opportunity to have a career in your 30s. These guys, Ortega 32, Johnson 34.
Yeah, exactly. Power among the last qualities to go when it comes to a fighter.
And Johnson looking to put his power on display. Ortega staying out of range. There's a low kick And Johnson responds in kind. And thus far, Ortega allowing Johnson to control the real estate, Jimmy.
Yeah, he is. Johnson stepping forward with confidence. And one thing you teach fighters young when they get in the gym, whatever you throw, there's a psychological tendency for your opponent to throw that back. You throw a leg kick, he's going to throw a leg kick back. Be ready and anticipate that.
And Ortega showing off his left hand, although he got countered there by Johnson.
It looks like some redness on the nose in between the eyes of Johnson.
Yeah, Ortega did clip him earlier. 3 minutes to go in the first round. They have stayed in the center of the Bellator MMA cage.
Johnson doing a good job staying behind the jab.
The jab, one of the most effective, basic, the fundamentals of striking. And really, I thought Triple G, the jab is what led him to victory against Canelo.
So did I, for sure.
Nice combination put together by Mike Ortega.
Ortega so far showing no fear. Stepping in, hands high. Both guys have done excellent work with the lead hand.
Body shot by Johnson. And that's, you know, the body always crucial. Again, going back to the boxing match, Triple G could have done more body work. Yep. But in MMA, of course, it's the entire body, all the weapons at your disposal. And Ortega, you know, as good as Johnson has looked at times, Ortega's been effective as well.
Yeah, very, very close first round.
Ortega seems to be more calm and composed, while there seems to be some nervous energy coursing through the veins of Tony Johnson.
A little more urgency, I guess, from Johnson. Seems like he wants to come out and put a show on, but he's got a tough fighter in front of him.
Oh, spinning back fist by Ortega. Shades of Shoney Carter on Matt Serra. There have been a few others over the years, hasn't there?
Chicago slap, as he called it.
Johnson caught Ortega's kick, then came forward with a right hand and then stopped. Oh, right uppercut by Ortega as Johnson came forward. A final 60 seconds, first round. Men's light heavyweight action. Nice punch kick combo by Ortega.
Ortega's at his best when he's mixing his weapons up. Another nice kick. See Johnson slowing down a little bit. We talked about the energy he started out with. A lot of that's gone now. This fight's settling down a little bit.
Again, Ortega caught Johnson with the jab. Good start by Johnson, but Ortega settling down the second half of the fight, and now in the final 30 seconds. Lands the low kick. Nice jab, pumped out by Ortega.
Both fighters excellent with the jab.
Body kick by Ortega that scored. Good opening 5 minutes as they acknowledge that fact. Going back to the respective corners, Jimmy, how do you score it?
I scored it 10-9 Ortega. Thought he did some nice work with the combinations, mixing up the kicks. We talked about the effectiveness of his jab.
He's afraid of the takedown.
Close first round.
Second round, fighter, you ready? Fighter, you ready? Fight!
This is round 2 again. The light heavyweights touch gloves. It's Mike Ortega in the blue gloves, Tony Johnson in the red gloves. Double pump on the jab from Ortega. It doesn't follow up, Jimmy. Nothing behind it.
Two fighters set a rhythm, they set a cadence, they set a pattern. The one who breaks it is usually the one who finds success. Maybe lead with the kick, maybe some left hook, something like that. You see Ortega changing it up a little bit.
Ortega's had success with that left body kick. Ortega walking down Johnson momentarily. Referee Herzog warning them to watch their fingers. Body shot there with the right hand by Johnson, but again, single shot, and now opening up with the right hands after he caught Ortega's kick. And a nice left hook delivered by Johnson.
Nice left hook over top. Raised him with the right hand. Great stuff from both fighters. But Ortega not backing down.
Right hand catches. Ortega, another solid right hand by Johnson. Changes it up, goes to the body. Ortega with a left knee to the head. Things picking up here in round 2. There's a liver kick by Ortega. Inside kick that was checked by Johnson. And the right cross by Johnson. Ortega says good night.
He's been looking for that right hand the entire fight. And that's why when it landed, this fight, like you said, good night, my friend. Wow.
Tony Johnson with a sleeping pill for a right hand detonates a big bomb on the face of Mike Ortega, and he improves to 6-2 with his 4th win via form of knockout.
And what made that possible is the slugfest in round 2. He managed to make it a shootout. Ortega stayed in the pocket, and right here, bam, right on the jaw before he hit the ground, completely out. It was that tendency of Ortega to fight fire with fire, to stand and trade with him, even when they were mixing it up. Great job by Jason Herzog getting right in between those two fighters. No ground and pound at all, no follow-up, none necessary.
And that is the way to close the show, literally and figuratively. The feature attraction on the Bellator MMA prelims in the light heavyweight division. Let's make it official. Let's go to Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage, the end comes. 1 minute, 49 seconds into round number 2. The winner by knockout, Tony Johnson.
And with the right cross, Tony Johnson proves to be the boss in this light heavyweight matchup. Great show of sportsmanship and a great way to cap off the Bellator MMA prelims. Let's go now to Jen Brown.
Well, thanks, Mar. You are right. That is the perfect way to end our night here on Bellator.com. And, of course, our first ever live stream on Twitter. But the night really is just beginning, you guys. If you like that, you need to stick around because we are going to be live and free on Spike at 9 p.m. Eastern. We've got our main event coming your way. We've got Patricky Pitbull taking on Benson Henderson. And you know these two are going to put on some fireworks. The co-main event will be just as good when Paul Daly steps in against Lorenz Larkin. Plus, Big Country Roy Nelson makes his highly anticipated Bellator debut against heavy hitter Javi Ayala. Nair and Pico, one of the top blue chip prospects in MMA, returns to the Bellator cage to face Justin Lin, and the night kicks off with the undefeated Adam Piccolotti taking on the always dangerous Goichi Yamauchi. That's all coming up at the top of the hour on Spike. For more Renolo and Jimmy Smith, I am Jen Brown. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you over on Spike in just a few.
Hey, Bellator Nation, follow us across a large array of digital platforms and stay up to date on everything you need to know. Like the Bellator Facebook page and see all the latest videos and get information on upcoming fights. Follow us for instant updates on Twitter at Bellator MMA and get a chance to have your tweet live on the Spike broadcast. See amazing exclusive pictures on Instagram at Bellator MMA. Follow us on Snapchat at Bellator Nation for exclusive behind-the-scenes photos, video, and fighter takeovers. Join Bellator Nation today.
next. It's an explosive night of fights, live and free on Spike.
Beautiful shots.
Featuring lightweight legend Benson Henderson. Battling Brazilian knockout artist Patricky Pitbull.
Unbelievable.
I'm gonna beat up Pitbull and make a statement.
Bang.
Plus feared strikers Paul Daly and Lorenz Larkin go to war.
It's over.
And the Bellator debut of Big Country Roy Nelson.
I'm here to knock people out.
Bellator MMA presented by Miller Lite. Live next on Spike.